Hi, my name is Val Fontama, and I lead our AI and data science team in the retail and consumer goods vertical at Snowflake. Today, I'm very excited to talk to you about the new Snowpark Container Services, which is a new feature from Snowflake. This feature is still in private preview as of September 2023, but I'm really excited to share this demo that demonstrates the capability and the power of this new Snowpark Container Services. So in this demo, I'll show you 4 key things. First, how you can build and host your own open source large language model in Snowpark Container Services that runs inside your Snowflake account. Second, you'll see how you can interact with that large language model using a web interface. Third, you will see how to build an interactive chat application using Streamlit. And fourth, you will see how you can connect your Snowpark Container Services to your database running inside your Snowflake account. And then under the hood, I'll show you a number of things. How compute pools work and how you can use them to choose your processor type, whether CPUs or GPUs. I'll show you how to create a container registry inside your Snowflake account, because this is where you can upload your own Docker image. And finally, you will see how to create a service in Snowpark Container Services that will run your large language model. So let's get started with the demo. And today, my demo is set around a diamond retail experience, because as it happens, I'm in the market for a diamond and I need help. So let's see how Snowpark Container Services running my large language model will help me with this search. I have an interesting challenge because I've got a big wedding anniversary coming up and I need to buy my wife a diamond ring. The problem is I don't know anything about jewelry or diamonds. So I'll show you in this demo how I'll use a large language model that runs inside of my Snowpark Container Services to help me find the right diamond for my wife. So let's get started. So on the screen, what you're seeing is a web interface, a web client that I'm using to interact with an LLM. And in this case, it's the Llama 2 model. It's a Llama 2B model from Meta. I got this from Hugging Face, and this Llama 2 model with 7 billion parameters is actually running in my Snowflake account because it's running in my Snowpark Container Services. So the first thing I want to do is to do a bit of research with this LLM, and I'll ask it a few questions to help me with my search. First question I have is, where do I start? Okay? And I want to know who are the best diamond retailers in the US. Okay, so the LLM lists a couple of diamond retailers. Some of them are familiar to me. I've heard about Tiffany and Company. I've heard a little bit about Blue Nile, although I've never actually bought anything from them. I've never heard about James Allen or Brilliant Earth. But I find Brilliant Earth interesting because according to the Llama 2 model, Brilliant Earth is an ethical jewelry retailer that sources diamonds from responsible suppliers. That's very interesting to me. So I want to learn more. Next, I want to know where they get their diamonds from. So I'll say, where does Brilliant Earth source their diamonds from? And it's listing a few countries where they source their diamonds from: Botswana, Canada, India, Russia, etc. The thing I like about it is it's saying for most of these countries, they source them from ethical and transparent sources. One more thing I'm interested in is if they do any lab-grown diamonds. So does Brilliant Earth sell lab-grown diamonds? And the answer is yes, they do. This is interesting to me. And I think the LLM is on the right path, because I did some research that showed actually Brilliant Earth are really committed to selling conflict-free diamonds. And apparently they were one of the first diamond retailers to actually use blockchain for tracing the source of your diamond. So that's very interesting to me. Next, I want to switch to another interface, and this time it's a Streamlit app that is actually a chat bot. So we used Streamlit to build a chat bot with which I can interact with the same Llama 2 model running in my Snowpark Container Services inside my Snowflake account. So to begin with, I prompted the Llama 2 model, and I'm telling it, hey, look, you will be a business analyst called Annie. Your goal is to give me correct SQL queries. Basically, their job is to write SQL queries and answer business questions for their end users. I tell it about my database, because I've got data on diamonds, different types of diamonds, and that data is sitting in a table called diamonds inside my Snowflake account. I give it the fully qualified name of the diamonds table, and from that, the Streamlit app actually extracted the metadata of this diamond table. So it knows all the columns we have, such as the cut, the wide, the depth, the price, number of carats, etc. Right? We also give it the rules of the road. So I give it 6 rules that it will use to respond to my queries. Remember, note that one of them says, I don't want you to hallucinate. You must not hallucinate about the table names, okay? Stick to the facts. So the bot responds by confirming that, yep, I get the memo. My name is Annie, and I'm a business analyst. I can answer your questions using data from the diamonds table. So the first question I have for the bot is, show the top 3 diamonds based on price. Go. And what it does is a large language model takes my question in simple English, it translates it into a SQL query, and then it runs that query on my database. So it runs the query on that diamonds table and then shows me the result. And because we're using Streamlit, this table is very interactive, right? So notice that the top diamond by price, the most expensive diamond, is not necessarily the one with the highest number of carats. I find that intriguing because as I said, I don't know much about diamonds. But the little I know says that, the most expensive diamonds tend to have very high carats. So I'm intrigued. How come the most expensive diamond doesn't have the highest number of carats? So I'd say, show me. I want to know more. Show the diamond with the highest carat value. I want to know that diamond. Which diamond has the highest amount of calories, of carats? So again, it does the same thing. The LLM translates my query from simple English into this SQL statement, and then it runs a SQL query against my database, and lo and behold, it's found the diamond with the highest amount of carats. See, and in this case, the number of carats here is almost double the number of carats in the most expensive diamond up here. I find that intriguing. So let's find out more. I'd say show the average price for each cut of diamond. I want to include the cut and average price in the results. So let's see what we get. So here it's showing the cut and the average price. It's showing the average price basically by cut. I want to go ahead and sort the results by price. And what you see here is first, there's the price increases with the type of cut. In general, the diamonds with the best cut have the highest price. Second, and notice there's a little bit of discrepancy here because the second most expensive cut is fair, whereas ideal is at the bottom. So that tells me there is probably a data quality issue here. I think there's a simple labeling issue in the data, because I would expect ideal to be second and fair to be at the bottom. But in general, what we see is that diamonds with the best cuts tend to be more expensive than those with poor cuts. And so that probably explains why the most expensive diamond doesn't necessarily have the highest amount of carats. Because if we compare the two, right, you'll find that this diamond here, the most expensive diamond, has a premium cut, which is the best cut of diamond possible. In contrast, the diamond with the highest carat actually has only fair cut, which is the worst possible cut. If we look at the other features of these two diamonds, we see that the most expensive diamond not only has premium cut, but it also has a better color. I is better than J. It has a better clarity. So VS2 actually has much better quality of clarity than I1. As a matter of fact, I1 is among the worst possible measures of clarity you can have for a diamond. It's so bad that Brilliant Earth doesn't carry them. It doesn't carry any diamond with I1, 2, or 3. So this shows me why the most expensive diamond in my data set doesn't necessarily have the highest carat. So we've seen in a nutshell that number one, carat is not everything. There's so many other factors that determine the price of a carat, of a diamond. So in addition to the number of carat, the color matters, the clarity, the depth, and also the cut of the diamond are all important factors that determine the price of diamond. The second thing I learned from this simple querying with my LLM model is that there's probably a data quality problem. I suspect there's a data labeling problem here, and that I suspect we've swapped the fair and ideal labels. So with that information, I will talk to my data engineering team to fix this data quality problem. So you've just seen how I can interact with my my large language model using the web interface and also using a simple chat application we built with Streamlit. And all of this is happening in my Snowpark Container Services, which runs inside my Snowflake account, which means it's all running within our security and governance perimeters. All the role-based access controls of Snowflake apply here. Nobody can access the Streamlit app, the web client, or any of my data in Snowflake unless they're fully authenticated. All of this runs on top of my Snowpark Container Services inside my Snowflake account. So that's a big benefit you get from Snowpark Container Services. So I've just shown you these two interfaces. Next, I want to open the hood a little bit and show you how we set up the compute. So the Snowpark Container Services uses compute pools. And this is where I create my compute pool. Notice that you can choose either standard or GPUs. It's so simple to switch between them. By default, you get standard, but if you're running a large language model, most of them will need GPUs. So in this case, I'm using GPU 7, which gives me 4, actually, NVIDIA A10 nodes. The other thing I'm doing here is I'm setting up a repository. So in this statement, I create a repository. This is where this is where we will actually save the Docker image. I created my Docker image, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And then I uploaded that Docker image that runs Snowpark Container Services. I uploaded it into this image repository. So when you're done, you can run these show commands. The first one is if you run show compute pools, it shows you details of the compute pool I just created. And in this case, it says it's active. If you do show repositories, it shows you all the repositories. And so it's active. And this is where my image, my Docker image will be stored. Next, I'll just show you how I created the service that runs my Snowpark Container Services, right? So I created that service here. Notice I reference the compute pool that I just created. And I also reference a YAML file that I store in my stage. This YAML file has all the details that I need to run the Snowpark Container Services. It has details of the large language models that I will upload from Hugging Face. I hope you enjoyed this sneak preview that really demonstrates the power of Snowpark Container Services. In this short demo, I showed you how to build and host an open source LLM running in your Snowflake account. You also saw how to interact with this LLM using a web interface, and how to build an interactive chat application with Streamlit. And finally, I showed you how you can actually connect Snowpark Container Services to a database running inside your Snowflake account. And from that, how you can ask questions in simple English and have the LLM translate it into SQL queries that it runs in your database and actually gives you meaningful results. Through this, I've made a lot of progress with my search for diamonds, and I feel like I've learned a little bit about the diamond trade. And with that, I feel much more confident now to go buy a good diamond ring for my wife. Thank you so much again for your time and attention.